Today, I want to talk about something simple, the act of reading aloud and how it can become a life-changing tool for PWS, people who stutter. Let's begin with a basic yet powerful truth. Many PWS do not stutter when they read aloud. For many, reading aloud fluently is already possible. If that's you, then you already hold the key to your own fluency. And if you don't yet read aloud fluently, there are still major benefits to doing it. You can simply whisper or mouth the words to help build the fluency habit. Reading aloud is free. It's simple. It's non-invasive. It's empowering. And best of all, it's proven both by science and by hundreds of people who've overcome stuttering using the neuroscience method. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need your voice, a page of text, and a little time each day. So after today's video call, pick up a book and read. Read with emotion. Read with joy. Read as if your fluency depends on it, because in many ways it does. Let your voice become your medicine. Let reading aloud become your revolution.
I really like the example that you mentioned that when people heard the sound of their own voices, that helped them bring themselves out of depression. And it's kind of like how we say that people love hearing themselves speak and they love talking. And I think that both PWS and PWSS should embrace this as well and enjoy the sound of their own voice while reading.
That was a perfect demonstration of what short increment is all about. I mean, we both know you are a fast speaker, but the thing is, this time is the time where I have seen you using short increments in an incredible manner. That was a perfect demonstration of how to use short increment. I'm gonna remember that.
I have seen ever since I was a kid that when I read more, my vocab increased and I could express myself better, both while speaking and in my writing. So I think reading has great benefits, not just for our speech, but just overall in our thought process, the way we think. It just helps you to build a structure and use great words to express yourself.
The reason why reading out loud is so beneficial and so good is, first of all, in terms of speech, you are completely in control. So you aren't having a conversation with someone else. You are able and willing to talk, because most of PWS are able to talk without stuttering in front of others. And they can read aloud without stuttering. So it works, as you said, extremely well to hear fluency and also to try and play a bit with it, to be passionate, to use a crutch. And that's a thing that I did at first and that really, really, really helped me, just reading out loud. The second thing is it really helps you for life, because a person who reads is a person who lives 1,000 different lives. You can be in the shoes of Frodo, of Harry Potter, of Henry V, etc. So you learn so much about that.
I've been reading for this whole time since I've joined as well, and I have amassed a stack of books as well. I think when you really dedicate time daily to reading, I find you get through so many books so quickly. It's insane. Like, I read as a child, but I was actually never that quick, or just it's not really about the speed, more about the consistency. It just really adds up.
Great talk, Danny. Many, many tips. I wrote down a couple. Reading is a life-changing tool. It builds up our MMIB, and boy, we love that. I also wrote down the ear is a battery for the brain. Think about that. I mean, that's Pretty good. But I do have one thing that I wanted to talk about, Danny. So when I stuttered for a long time, and I had to read either for business meetings or for school a long time ago, I would get so nervous and I'd be thinking, when is my turn? Like, how am I going to get the words out? Blah, 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 blah. Well, now that I'm a PWSS, I know I can read anywhere, anytime, anything. But I wanted to ask you, still, when it's time to read during speech sessions, I still get a little bit tight. And then when it's my turn to read, it goes perfectly. So what I wanted to know was, will I always feel that? Is it normal, or am I still just getting to second base maybe? Thank you, Danny.
Like I tell people, once you fully master the art of using all these crutches, I feel like overcoming stuttering is so easy. The hard part is going to be overcoming the fear of stuttering, because I know as stutterers, we have this ingrained habit of always going out in public and fearing our words. But trust me when I say the fear will eventually die. Like never in my wildest dreams would I ever think to actually participate at SAM. And for those who don't know, when I first joined this program, I attended every single SAM meeting for the first 4 months. But with that said, I would never turn on my mic, my camera. The thought of me participating, like the thought of me actually giving a SAM talk, like no, like I never thought that I would actually have the courage to do so. But as Lee writes in his short course book, it's all about easing into your speech comfort zones. And once you become comfortable in one area, you want to take it to the next level. So trust me, the fear will die. And I guess if you still feel a little bit of tension and anxiety, simply use short link stop. Speak every 1 to 7 words, hold your tone, and come to full stops. Because as Coach Lee says, full stops will relax you, the speaker, and most importantly, all your listeners, since you give them a chance to absorb everything you are saying in a clear and concise manner. So hopefully this helps. And then also, I just want to throw out that Cindy is actually going to be giving her own SAM talk next week. So if you're free next Saturday at 12, please come by, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be a phenomenal SAM talk.
My favorite hobby was football, but now I changed to read aloud. Minimum, I read aloud for 2 hours. I really enjoy it. I don't feel any tired to read aloud, especially when I feel more injecting feeling passion. It makes my day bright. Reading aloud is now like my food. I never leave even one day. So read aloud is now my favorite thing is to do daily basis.
If I had to give a person one advice as far as overcoming speech anxiety, I would just tell them to read out loud every day. That's the cheat code right there. And it's funny because I remember in elementary, that was actually something that we as students, we love to do. Every child wanted to read out loud. Every child wanted to, wanted the entire class to listen to them read out loud. Like we would fight to read out loud. It was something that we enjoy doing.
What a powerful message. Thank you so much for reminding us the importance of reading out aloud every day. My take from your message, my takeaways, strong emotions empower stuttering. Stuttering is a habit, it can be changed. When you read every day, you heal your mind. Your voice becomes your own medicine. I'm going to read all Coach Lee's books, and I'm going to let my kids read them also. I'm so happy that I'm part of this program. It's not only about stuttering, it's also teaching us about the principles of life, how you can be happy. It's teaching us a lot. I'm no longer taking painkillers. I was taking painkillers every single day of my life. And I think stuttering was contributing to my stress. So now that I'm part of this program, I'm positive about life. I just want to say thank you so much.
No, thank you. Brilliant comments. And you're absolutely right. Like, yes, this program will help you stop stuttering, but especially with mind training, it's just going to elevate your life in ways you never thought possible. So
Last week was probably one of the most stressful weeks I've had in a long time. And I was out traveling. I'm not sure whether it was due to my lack of sleep or whatever, but I did make it a point to read out loud. At least I wish I could read for like 45 to an hour, but I could only read for like a little shy of 30 minutes. And I still found myself being anxious throughout the day. And I wasn't sure what was happening because, when the only solution that works sometimes fails you, or at least that's what it feels like, I wasn't sure how to deal with that. So I would like to get your thoughts on that. And also, lastly, from a neuroplasticity standpoint, do you think it's best to read out loud at night or in the morning, or it doesn't matter?
I guess if you're feeling anxiety and tension, again, this is where the affirmations come into play. Because I know us humans, and it's so easy to put ourselves down. We do one little mistake and we harp on it. And especially with stutterers in their speech, it just compounds the problem 10 times even more. So this is where you should really drown out any negative thought about your speech with one of your positive affirmations. And then just go back to the basics. Just use the most basic speech plan when you're under pressure. Because I promise you, if you are fully dialed in on short link stop, as I'm doing right now, just focusing on speaking every 1 to 7 words, adding multiple full stops for at least a 2 second count, and more importantly, holding your tone, like you're going to be fluent in all areas of your life. And in terms of reading aloud, in my humble opinion, I really don't think that there's, a perfect time today to read aloud. It could be the morning, afternoon, night. It really doesn't matter. As long as you're reading aloud, 30, 45 minutes to an hour, that's so, so important. And then even when you become a PWSS, like never stop reading aloud. Like when I first joined, I would literally read 2 to 3 hours a day. And now I probably only read 45 minutes to an hour. And I know all of us have lives, we have families, a career and all that, but I remember Leah from South Africa, who unfortunately doesn't come to any of these SAM meetings anymore. But she basically said one day, it's like, damn well if somebody gave you $1 million and the only thing that you had to do for the rest of your life was to read aloud for 45 minutes to an hour, that you would find certain times in the day to read aloud. So again, just try to do as much reading aloud as possible. And when you feel pressure, just relax all that anxiety with one of your positive affirmations and just focus on short and stop.
Reading aloud actually unearthed a lot of feelings in me. In the past, I remember I used to speak like a robot, okay, like without feelings. The moment the switches to the speaking mode, all I could think of is words. And once you think of words, you know how you appear. You appear like a robot because you keep thinking about them in your head again and again. So once I started to, read, I found that I actually have emotions and feelings, right? And when you use them and you feel beautiful about your speech, that's more important. And reading practices, not only helps you to listen to your own fluency from your lips, but it's also an opportunity to actually practice the crutches. I always practice my crutches while I read aloud. And also, looking back, I remember I in fact expanded my comfort zone through reading aloud. So, for example, once I became confident reading out aloud alone, all by myself, I slowly started to, read aloud in front of my mother and then my brother. My brother used to tease me a lot, okay, but still I, made up my mind and I wanted to read out aloud in front of him. And he was also surprised that I could read without stuttering. And that gave me a lot of confidence. And I slowly started narrating small stories in front of my friends with confidence. So that's how I was able to expand my comfort zone. So I think, guys, in WSSA, we have a community, right? We have WhatsApp group. And if you feel that you're bored reading out aloud alone, find a buddy or find a group of people. You can practice reading aloud with them. And that actually has a lot more impact, I would say.
For me, reading aloud really has given me the joy back of reading books. I used to be an avid reader when I was a child, and then, you grow up and older and stress and whatever, social media. But now that I had to read again, I noticed how much I'm loving it again.
Reading aloud, we read aloud a lot. As you know, I have 2 kids, and my daughter, she is 2 years and a half. She speaks very well. She can make a sentence of 6 or 7 words, and I can hear she speaks the same way I read aloud. So she use a lot of passion and the crutch, like number 4. So she's going to become a great speaker. She absorbed the way I'm speaking. So I'm very happy about that.
Thank you so much, Danny. And I thank the WSSA organization because I don't know, it's not about the money, but the lives that have been impacted here is something that no amount of cash could ever surpass or could ever match up to. It's like a lot of lives has been impacted tremendously, because I believe like last year, I would never ever have to speak. I would run away from anything that involves speaking. It's something I keep running away from. But today I am looking for a situation where I'll have to speak. It's like I'm going into the situation. So I thank God for that.
Okay, thank you, Danny, for such an excellent summary of the values of reading aloud. Reading aloud is one of the greatest joys in my life, especially profound thoughts when I can find them. And poetry is mentioned by Noah. I love that, especially poetry that's metered and rhymed. And it's been great seeing you all. I hope you have a wonderful week. I will.
Now I'm going to close the meeting. I hope that you enjoyed exchanging thoughts with ex-stutterers and those fast becoming ex-stutterers. I will now end with our motto, and feel free to say it along with me. If you can say one word anywhere, anytime, you can say and love to say any word, anywhere, anytime. Until next Saturday, have a great weekend.